Sir Paul McCartney and the late John Lennon bonded over the premature deaths of their mothers. The bandmates of the Beatles were able to connect with one another and create one of the most famous songwriting collaborations in music history because they had both suffered devastating losses as youngsters, including the death of their moms. Ian Leslie's forthcoming book, John and Paul, A Love Story in Songs, delves at the friendship shared by the two legendary members of the Beatles. The Sunday Times magazine acquired an excerpt from McCartney's statement in which he stated, "Each of us understood that had occurred to the other. You're expected to just brush it off when you're that age, especially whether you're a young man or adolescent. There's little doubt that throughout that time, I built walls and obstacles that still exist in my life now." John did, without a doubt. They formed the iconic rock band in the 1960s with drummer Sir Ringo Starr and the late guitarist George Harrison. Nonetheless, their common experiences helped them connect when they were composing songs for the band. A Day in the Life and I Want to Hold Your Hand were among 65 songs written by the Lennon and McCartney pair alone prior to the band's 1969 separation and Lennon's 1980 murder. McCartney's mother, Mary, is mentioned in the Beatles' song Let It Be, and she passed away in 1956 when he was 14 years old. At the young age of 47, she passed away from breast cancer. The family was rocked by the suddenness of her diagnosis and death, which occurred within a month of each other. Worst thing about that was everyone was very stoic, so nobody talked about it. The 82-year-old singer and bassist recounted, "He is still an active musician. Mary's salary as a midwife and nurse contributed significantly to the McCartney family's financial situation. In addition to his own sorrow, Paul was concerned about the family's ability to make ends meet. His younger brother Mike wept at the news of their mother's death." Tragically, Lennon's mother passed away in 1958 after being hit by a car when she was crossing the street, only 2 years after McCartney's heartbreaking loss. The book details the very tumultuous relationship that Lennon had with his mother, Julia. In 1946, when Lennon was 5 years old, his Aunt Mimi took over as his main caregiver following Julia's conviction for negligence. Lennon, who passed away at an early age of 40, was overcome with sadness after his mother's death.